Hello once again, fellow Africans. It gives me joy to stand here once again talking to you about African unity and the future of the continent. Without forgetting, we are the People's Movement for African Unity, an organization that is tasked with the responsibility of establishing a new Africa, in which we are putting every effort necessary to make it a reality. It's not just the organization itself or its founders, it's all of us. Many of us have been speaking about African unity from different perspectives. People are calling for free migration, as if Africa's problem is about immigration. People talk about economic integration. People talk about finances. People see it from different perspectives. We see it from ordinary mind, from a carnal sense of it. But we don't know that African unity goes beyond those things. Of course, it's fine when we are speaking about it like that, because it tells you that many people are really interested in it. They want to see it become a reality. It's something to enjoy. But African unity is not just those things you are thinking about. Like I always say, it's a divine plan to reset the world. The astrologers, the wise men of ancient time, knew what will be unfolding in our world from generation to generation. And they have expressed it in diverse ways than one. Some of them have been kept in place for thousands of years in ancient Egyptian archives. Those things have been revealed to many prophets of antiquity, even before the advent of the Bible. But you have been seeing a lot of philosophers coming to express the same thing one time, one generation after another. So African unity goes beyond immigration, and economic integration, or those things that human beings we are talking about, from political, economic, financial, or social. Those things are just a level of something we can know. But we will take this opportunity to give a little bit hint, just a little bit thing, of what African unity represents in the world. Let us touch a little bit brief of the history of the world. If we are going to look into the history of the world, we will see what is called the age of imperialism, the age of man dominating man, nations dominating nations, empires dominating other empires, they rise and fall, and other ones rise and fall. And over the years, we've seen that rise and fall of nations and empires. But few of us had the time to ask why and how those nations and empires are coming and going. Well, anybody who wants to tell you, to explain to you as to why those new empires are coming and going, rising and falling, can only do so based on his own philosophical curiosity. But nobody will tell you in details about why those empires are rising and falling. Only the masters of human destiny, the divine masters, the manipulators of one life, those who really know the steps by step they are taking for the evolution of mankind, them in the spiritual world can only tell you why those things are going. They know it, but because they are supreme, they don't owe any explanation to any man. They are not under obligation to come and give us in details of why they are doing that, why they are doing that. No. They don't work that way. They initiate what is necessary for their duty of evolving mankind, for the growth of the world. They initiate it and make it happen. But it's easy for anybody to tell you how those nations are falling and how they are rising, but not to tell you why. The why, you're looking for a reason. The reason resides with the divine masters It's just like no human being will tell you a complete acceptable reason on why the world was created in the first place. Whatever knowledge we are delegated about the creation of the world is the one they want us to know to enable us live and evolve here. But the ultimate of everything stays with them, namely God. So in the rise and falling of empire, we have seen what can be called the age of imperialism. That since the ancient world, which some ancient knowledge called the kingdom of Lemuria, and which the Bible said there was an ancient world that was destroyed by flood. Some philosophical traditions call it Lemuria, which was destroyed and the new world started. The details of knowledge of what happened in ancient Lemuria was not known fully to the ordinary world. But the current world we are living is a world which we can call the age of imperialism. The age when man wants to dominate man, nations want to dominate nations, empires want to dominate empires. It has been happening all across the world. Just that in recent years, the European imperialism became the most powerful of all that dominated everywhere. But we've seen the empire of Egypt, Greek, Medo and Persia, Babylon, Rome, and the offshoot of Rome. Those things have been coming and going. And it's not Europeans only. We've seen it in Africa here, where for example, in South Africa, where Sheikh Azulu was trying to build an empire. We see the empire of Ghana in West Africa. We see the Soninke Empire. We see a lot of them, even in South America, even in Europe, Asia. We see all those things. But that imperialism has grown to a point where it is becoming so painful in the world today that you can see that imperialism is at the brink of driving the human family to the brink of mutual destruction. And the divine masters know that. That they allow it to be because it's something that they want to allow for a particular generation, for a particular time in the evolution of mankind. But they also had put a time in place when those things will be brought to an end. That was the time they said they are going to establish what will be called the kingdom of God. A kingdom that will never be passed on to any other people. That will stay like that a time without end. That kingdom of God that is going to manifest on earth here is what is known as the federal government of Africa. We call it the federal government of Africa because we are using a modern political science terminology. That is the best way to express it. But that is the kingdom of God. The African Federation is going to be in alliance with the state of Israel. These are the seats of the kingdom of God. Because the divine masters promised a time of bliss and peace in which no man can dominate another. A time of justice. A world in which there will be no oppression. That world is about to start now. That's why the place that African Federation is going to occupy, like I always say, that the African unity is not only made for the benefit of African people. It goes beyond that. So the position the African unity is going to occupy is a position of peace. And why did the prophet say that the kingdom of God will stay forever, that it will never be passed to any other people? It's very simple. Because we have seen for thousands of years man dominating man, oppression, injustice. And then there was a time of peace and harmony that was promised for mankind. That peace and harmony is the ideal condition that human being is yearning for, and which God, the Creator, has promised will one day come. And because that peace and justice is what human being desires the most, it will never be brought to an end. And those who inherited, those in whom the forces of justice incarnate, will hold on to the control and maintenance of that kingdom of justice till time without end. That's where the African Federation and the Afro-Israeli Alliance, in alliance with the State of Israel, comes in. You can go to the Bible, you can see it there. You can go to many, if you want to care about knowing prophecies or anybody. I'm not telling you anything here because I went to church. I don't go to church. If any human being have seen my leg in the church, coming to listen to a pastor telling me about prophecy, let that person come and say I'm a member of his church. You will never see me there. If anybody has seen me in any seminary school saying he's teaching me about Bible, come and report it. I am telling you a revelation that was directly opened for us, the founders of the People's Movement, so that to enable us to know what we are doing, what we are told to do in Africa, and how we are going to do it. So the place that the African unity occupies in the history of mankind is a place of eternal bliss. It's something every human being from every corner of the world should cherish and make a positive contribution to make it a reality. It's not just for the benefit of Africans only. So here in Africa is the headquarters of the kingdom of God on earth. People think kingdom of God, the way they are speaking it in religion, means something that will break the cloud and come and dump here, and then you don't have to work, you don't have to do this, you just call salad, then he come from heaven. You call for cell phone, he come from, you just wake up and stop functioning. Stop evolving yourself, just stay here. You sleep, you wake up, and then this. You sleep, you wake up, there will be no sickness, what? No. The sickness, if you continue to have a bad habit of abusing, putting something that your body don't like, your body will fall sick. That's natural law. The kingdom of God is not coming to stop the natural law from working, no. If you deliberately put yourself in the fire, you will be burnt. If you cannot stand up to cook your food, you won't eat that food. The kingdom of God means a time of peace, harmony, mutual respect, where no nation will dominate a nation, where people live in peace and carry on their own evolution, not to say you cannot work. If you don't wake up to earn your electricity, the light will never be there. If you don't go to farm, you won't eat that food. If you don't cook your food, you won't eat it. So don't think the kingdom of God is something that telling you in religion, you just go and sleep, or something that the cloud will open and then come and take you here. Go to the upstairs and close it, and then you live like, no, it's not like that. It's a moment of bliss. And that is what African unity represents. And to speak more about it, we all know that for us to have peace and justice, the causes of war have to be removed. The causes of oppression have to be removed. If you don't remove that very thing creating war, you won't have peace. So imperialism and man dominating man is part of what is creating disharmony in our world. Those things has to be removed. And that's why the prophet told you in advance that there will be a time when there will be war. The war to end all wars. Some people call it Armageddon. Some people call it Third World War. The Third World War is not something that somebody can be emotional about. If you're reading the Bible, when Jesus Christ tells you, pray so that the kingdom of God will come, be aware that the kingdom of God is coming before it can come and take effect. The causes of war and all evils have to be removed for that very content to be effective. So we've seen how things are going in the world. There is likely to be a third world, not likely. When those people tell you something is going to happen, it's going to happen. We've seen recently what Britain Brexit from the European Union means, what they're going to do with their preference of America over the entire Europe. We've seen the trade wars, we call it trade wars between US and China, going on. We don't know where that war will end. And very soon in their hypocrisy, they may stop showing it in the media. But we don't know, that thing has started and it's not going to end easily. It will bring a clash one day. They will have to fight themselves. Because the United States in its world arrogance cannot afford to stay without maintaining economic power in the world. How are you going to be a world power if you don't have economy? And China also have set their foot, with their population and everything, they've set their foot in doing a lot of things in the world. China will refrain back. This loggerhead will be there until it sparks into something else. Anybody who is attentive to the events of the world will see that the world is not going well. We've seen something from the Arabic world also, what they call Islamic State of West African Province. That's Arab world trying to dominate Africa in 21st century. These are things that the spiritual forces of our generation no longer allow. Whether you come to religion or politics or anything, you are no longer allowed to go and dominate people in their own portion of land or impose yourself. All these are the element of war that is coming. All of them will be crushed. Anybody trying to step out of the national border, trying to go and hold the hegemony somewhere against the will of those very people. These are the elements of, we've seen these things. It's not like something, we see it. Check even America and Venezuela. How the natives of Venezuela are fighting American hegemony there. Check Bolivia. Check Chile. Check everywhere you see the people who are dominated in the world, how they are trying to. Check South Africa between the white people and the other people who hold the land and the economy. Check Zimbabwe, what is going on. Check all over the world, even Nigeria, where the oil, money everywhere. All those things is as a result of man dominating man, nation dominating nations. Those things will go. So when you hear some people talking about Third World War is not something you call evil. No. I know some people are scared of death. But bear in mind that there is not those such things that people die and come back. So the Third World War is the same thing that Jesus Christ was saying, but in a different language. When he said, pray that the kingdom of God will come, the kingdom of God will come. And when it's coming, it will create a means of eliminating all the evil that is going on in the world, so that very kingdom will have a clean effect for human beings to enjoy. So when you hear people are talking Third World War, it's not about politicians pushing for it. It's not about greedy people. It's real. It's a war that is meant to clear out all sorts of evils and dominations, so that the kingdom of God will take effect. And the headquarters of the kingdom of God on earth is called the alliance between Africa, the sub-Saharan Africa, the black Africa, and the state of Israel, in which Jerusalem will play a very important role. Sometimes when you see some politicians doing some things, you think they're doing it out of their own curiosity. Last time we see Benjamin Netanyahu, the first sitting prime minister of the state of Israel, coming to join African Union, and he ended up in ECOWAS. That message has already been spiritually sent to Israel. That alliance with Africa is there inside. The Jews have already received that very message. They're just waiting for Africa to prepare themselves and come out, and then the alliance will begin. It's an alliance that everybody is going to enjoy. And between the European imperialists and other nations of the world, this thing is the same thing that is happening in different corners. It's like an oppressor and the oppressed. They are the same thing in different angles. So the war between the oppressed and the oppressor, separating that very war means to give peace to the oppressor and liberty to the oppressed. Because when both of us are wrestling, we are fighting. You take me, you hit me on the ground, you stay on top of me. You won't get up when you're on top of me. Because if you want me to stay down so that you can stay on top of me, that means you yourself will not stand up. Because if you stand up, I also will stand up and move. So the European imperialists that are holding the world are also holding themselves ransom, that they don't have peace. Check what is happening in Europe. Immigration everywhere. All sorts of nonsense people coming from Asia. Check what is happening in US. Immigration from Mexico, from South America, everybody trooping there, whether they like it or not. You cannot hold the food of a people and say they shouldn't come. They will come there. We've seen what is happening in Africa. Looting of African resources. And then you think Africans, when they are hungry, they will not find their way to go and enjoy a better life in Europe or in America. You come and tell them illegal immigrant. Who gave you the visa to come to Africa in the first place? Some of you claim to have built South Africa. Who gave you the contract to build South Africa? Under whose agreement, if I may ask? So we see a lot of things that is going on. The kingdom of God is near, and Africa is the headquarters. That is why we are tasked with the responsibility of preparing the African Federation for the process to begin, because it is near. It's near. The world powers with their ego, economic economic and political ego will end up. The time will come soon when they will no longer control themselves. They will go. They will fight each other and destroy each other. Then something else will take over. Some people call it Armageddon. It's not just a biblical terminology. It's true. Check what is happening in the world. Anybody who pays attention to world affairs should please look at what is happening in the world and analyze for yourself. So when we are talking about African unity, it's a thing of joy. Beside that, if you are going to speak in ordinary language, Africa has suffered a lot of things over the years. So a united Africa is not a step backwards. A united Africa is means that we are being promoted to the higher echelons of life, where we become prominent, where we become strong, to be able to play a role in ensuring that no nation rise again to dominate another nation. That is the image that we are inheriting from God, the image of peace, the image of justice. That's why all the entire world are going to enjoy Africa. They are going to enjoy what Africa has to offer, whether from the Arab or from the Europe or from the Middle East or from the South America or Africa themselves. Everybody will enjoy in the near future the blessing that God is going to give to the human race through the African unity, and the power is going to command among the community of mankind. And to advance this very revelation, something has been given to me also about the future of Africa. It's been said that there will be a time when the House of Africa, the African Federation also can be called the House of Africa. There will be a time when there will be a serious destruction in the House of Africa. Serious devastation, serious problem in Africa will happen, and it will spread across the world. I don't want to start giving dates here, but it will take 1,000 or 2,000 years into the future, according to what I'm told. But I don't want to start talking dates here. I'm not saying making this message to start gaining attention. I don't need it. If you look, nobody knows me in the world. I'm Mr. Nobody. Not even in academia, not even money, not even business. I'm just nothing. But there is something I know about Africa that you don't know. Why we stand up to begin the process of building a new Africa. So there will be a time when the African Federation will be destroyed. But the destruction does not mean that the power is going away. The destruction is meant to reinforce the image, because according to divine way of doing things, each generation each time they want to introduce something new into the world, they create an event that will destroy the old system, so as to introduce a new image that will move on. So during those days, whether it's 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 years into the future, when you see a serious cataclysm happening in the federal government of Africa, which is going to affect the world, don't panic. It will be difficult. Don't think you're losing power. You're never going to lose power again. Nobody, no nation, no empire will rise to topple Africa anymore. That has been cancelled and closed down. But it's a moment of reinforcing a new image. So each time they come, they have to destroy a certain system. So they create a destruction to remove that, and they introduce the new energy. That's what will be happening in Africa. Whenever they want to renew images in the world, they destroy old system and introduce a new one. Each time they need it, they destroy it. So that is the type of destruction you will be seeing in the House of Africa. To be able to introduce new energy that will be ruling the world. It's not like Africa is going to be bad, that another body will come to change them, like we see Greek Empire was overtaken by Rome. Rome was overtaken by this. No, those eras of change of those things is finishing in human history. It's never going to happen again. The only thing that you can is the introduction of energy of evolution from time to time. So there will be at some point in the future troubles that will come into Africa. But like I said earlier, don't panic. It's just an introduction of a new energy that will keep moving Africa and the world forward, not just Africa, because whatever they want to introduce into the world will start from Africa, because that is the seat. The administrative seat might be Jerusalem, but the power, the actual power that will rule the world will be in Africa. So let me stop here. I hope you have a good understanding of what a little bit analysis that I have made here. You try to go deeper. It's not everything we talk. So we are calling on everyone to give us their support to come to us so we can begin the process of building the new Africa. That will be a very big blessing for the children of mankind. Please know that building Africa requires sacrifice. He says it's the greatest service you can render to your future generations. And a very big respect, a sacred service to God our Creator will be to build His kingdom. And that is Africa. Thank you, and may God bless you as you contact us and work with us so we can. We also use this opportunity to tell those foreign investors who want to invest in Africa. They will be welcomed in the areas that we want them to work in. But they should change their exploitative mentality, because if you come with that exploitative mentality, want to transfer that domineering evil mentality of the war that is ending into Africa, you will be met with a hard rock. You will be destroyed. The world no longer welcome greed and pollution. If you want to invest in Africa, it's fine, you are welcome to invest in Africa. But under a term that is allowed by the new system. So, let me stop here. Let me not talk over much. We are calling on everyone, men of goodwill, to come and put their efforts, give us some of their support, police officers, government officers, everybody, so we can work together to uplift Africa for the good of mankind. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.